Good afternoon, class. In this video, we'll be showing you some of the basics of graphing. What exactly is a slope? Now, a slope is basically how much a line is going up or is it going down. The main point is how much is it going down and how much is it going up. So let's just think about this line, for example. Okay, I want you to imagine that there is a little man right here. Okay, let me draw a little man here. There's some legs and some arms. Okay, and this little man is always going to walk from my left side of my page to my right side of my page. He's always going to be walking in this direction, just like reading a book. Well, if this guy right here, let's just call him Mr. Paul Jr., if he decides to walk from left to right, will he be walking up? Will he be walking down? Is he walking neither of those things? Well, let's just think about this for a second. If he's walking up, this will be known as a positive slope. Positive. So positive. Let me write this with a mouse. Positive. Not bad for a mouse, I think. Positive. Up is a positive slope. Okay? So if we take for a second this guy right here and he decides to walk this direction, he's going to be walking up the slope. Okay, but is that the only slope he can walk up? Well, let's just think about it for a second. If I move this down this way, when he moves from left to right, is he still moving up? Okay, well, yeah, then that's also another example of a positive slope. And if I move this other point over here, is that still considered a positive slope? Yeah, he's still walking up. These are examples of positive slopes. Okay, but what if, let me erase some things here. What if I erase this guy? What if he isn't walking up? So what if, for example, I take this line and I make it look something like this? Let me redraw my guy here real quick. Here's my Mr. Paul Jr. There's some legs. And once again, he's going to be walking from left to right. If he walks from left to right this time, he'll be walking down. Okay, down. D-O-W-N. Okay. Okay, well, if up was positive, any guesses what down is? Yeah, I'm guessing some of you are going to say negative. Okay, this is what's known as a negative slope. Negative. Sorry for the sloppy handwriting. I'm writing on a mouse. Negative. That's a negative slope. Okay? So what means is if Mr. Paul Jr. starts walking from left to right, he's going to be walking down. This is an example of a negative slope. Other examples of negative slopes, let me just move this here. Okay, he's walking down still. He's walking down still. It's always going to be from left to right. Okay. Well, we've seen some lines that look a little bit different than this. So what if I take this line and put it exactly like that? It's not going up or down. If he walks from left to right, this is on a flat surface. Okay? This is a flat surface. So if it's flat, so let's just call it flat. Flat. This is known as no slope or a zero slope. It's not positive, it's not negative. It's not a positive number, it's not a negative number. It's zero, which is neither positive nor negative. It is a no slope. So we're going to say no slope. Or zero slope. Okay, because zeros are both neither positive nor negative. Okay, there's only one way it looks. It's going to look straight. The only other way they can try and make it look is that, let's just say, change my mouse here. If it's moved down a little bit like this, like that. If it's maybe up here. Okay, the point is it's neither going up nor down. If my Mr. Paul Jr. starts walking from left to right, just like reading a book, he's not going up or down. Flat is no slope. There's only one other thing you can see when it comes to slopes. If it's not going up and it's not going down and it's not flat, it will look something like this. Oh, you can't see that line. There it is. It'll look straight up and down. If he tries to walk from left to right, he's going to smash right into this wall. He's going to fall, right? This is the ground. He's going to fall. He's going to fall to the underworld. I'm very worried about Mr. Paul Jr. Okay, so this is known, okay, if it's like a wall, if it's straight up and down. So we're going to, if it's straight vertical, right? They call this vertical. Okay, so if it's vertical, oops, vertical. Now, if he decides to walk from left to right, this is known as he's going to fall to the underworld, right? Which is like hell. Okay, but they call this undefined. It means there's no, it's not a no slope, it's an undefined slope. There's no possible way to determine this slope. He goes to the underworld, meaning undefined. So this is undefined. I apologize for the sloppy handwriting. I'm writing with a mouse. Don't judge me. I'm doing my best. Okay. The only other ways that undefined slopes can look is if they move it this direction. Okay, but it'll still look up and down, still look straight vertical, or if they move it over here. Either way, when you are looking at it straight up and down, okay, that's not exactly perfect, but you get the point. If it's going up, once again, if it's going up, that's a positive slope. Going down, that's a negative slope. If it's flat, that is a no slope. And if it's straight up and down, it's called an undefined slope. We will learn more about this section when we reach it in the book, but today, this is just a preview, and we'll start calculating these numbers. But for now, just the basics. Thanks for watching the video.